Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome, and thank you so much for tuning in. As you can see today, I have a wonderful guest, and I'm going to introduce her in a minute. Like, we've been chatting for the longest time, so I think this video is going to be a good one. So this is a new series that is definitely going to be on my channel. It's the first, so it's such an honor to have her on the first one, and it's called Wife Talk. So it's basically, we're basically going to speak about things that people usually ask us about when we're, you know, people who are not married or getting married. People usually ask a lot of questions, and I think this series must be informative more than anything. That's its purpose, and I think that's why the Holy Spirit put in my heart to start this and to make it this way, so that we can not teach, because I mean, we've been married for like 4 days. If you think about it.
6 months.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But, you know, it's not to, you know, like think that we know anything, but just to discuss maybe from our experiences. I think it's really good, and what we have been through to share with you guys. So that's basically what this series is all about. Wife Talk, we're going to be discussing different topics, and as we were sitting down and having our own chat earlier today, we figured that this particular video will go towards the preparation of marriage and many different other aspects in that. We're going to talk about spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. We're even going to cross those boundaries. So I hope that you enjoy this one. Oh, but before we go there, let's introduce our guest. I don't know if you guys know, you guys should know her by now. I don't know, if you're watching my videos and you don't know Ayanda, then I don't know what rock you're hiding under.
So I am Ayanda Vana now. I got married last year December. We literally like got married a month apart. Yeah, and in my head I always thought she was more like married like for a couple of more months than me, but then I found we actually was in the same boat. Same things. And I am, I'm just passionate about women. I'm passionate about talking about these kind of topics. You know, I'm passionate about what God can do, and for just being placed in positions for women to understand different roles and platforms for different topics. And what do? I am a candidate attorney, but I guess I can call myself a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? And I enjoy that a lot, and I'm excited to just.
You also seem like a foodie though.
Oh my gosh, please, my blog, my Instagram, my blog is coming soon. Oh, by the time
this launches, your blog will be live.
Yeah, it'll be live.
So yeah, you're a blogger too. We can add that.
I'm a blogger. I love taking pictures. I love like aesthetics. I love. It's not even just about the food. It's presentation of the food and stuff, and just having an experience. And more than anything, I'm passionate about entrepreneurship. So I try to go to businesses that are not who are looking for exposure more than anything. But I do also work with restaurants that do have exposure, so I'm not don't go through my gram and say, oh, you like. So I do enjoy that. I love aesthetics, love taking photos, I love fashion, I love I'm passionate.
What do you guys say? Because I've done fashion on the channel before, so maybe next time we'll do a fashion something. Yeah. We'll do a how to style something. We'll do something fun. While we're rambling on camera. So that's basically what this is about. We are two young wives, and we're doing life together, and this is what this is about. So I hope that you guys enjoy. We're about to start very soon. So if you haven't subscribed, do what you need to do, and enjoy. Hope you guys enjoy this one. So obviously we're talking about the preparation for marriage. We had many things I want to talk about, but we're going to sum it up in terms of the preparation for marriage, and I think that's also something that's quite relevant to us, and at least we can speak about it because we've been through it. And even if you're single and you don't have someone that you are dating right now, I think it's still important to think about and consider, so that when you meet someone, you already know what to expect and also what to go through. And I think the important things that we're going to highlight, and the first one being premarital counseling. So what I've learned is that people kind of keep premarital counseling as an option. Like,
yeah.
I can if I want to.
If I have time.
If I
I think we spiritually aligned. Me and you are gonna know God. We don't have to go through this.
How was your your counseling?
We went through the whole process. So it was like a 5-week program.
Okay.
You had to attend sessions, and you have got a book.
At church?
At church.
Okay.
Got a book, and you had topic 1 to 5, which spoke about finances, spoke about family. And family meaning not just the nuclear family, meaning you guys as me and my husband, but now it's, you know, your parents, speaking about that, spoke about intimacy, and that's important.
Which we'll get to. Yeah.
And we spoke about different roles and duties and stuff, and so it was really in depth. And we had in that we had mentors allocated to us, so we'll attend one session on a Tuesday, and then we'll meet with our mentors.
Why do you feel like it's so important?
I think it's important because you really get to understand a lot more than what you know as a single person. You've been on this season of singleness for a long time, and now you're entering into a space with another person, becoming one, and you need to talk about things that are so crucial in a marriage, and that either break a marriage in most instances because you didn't know certain things, or make a marriage, you know. And these are some of a lot of people know that people struggle with certain things in marriages, and the fact that it's highlighted before you even go into that marriage, you're not trying to fix that problem, you're trying to deal with that. Let God, God, we know that this is the problem now, let's deal with this. And you're not going to know everything about the person through the whole pre-marriage counseling, but it allows you the opportunity to really be in a space where you guys are both being vulnerable, because now you're having to say intimacy, finance, how do we see finance, how do we see family, how do we define family? Because sometimes when you're in the lovey-dovey stages of your relationship, of your engagement, everyone's excited,
you overlook things,
you don't think about certain things, and now you have someone who's asking you guys things which are real, and you have to deal with them. You're like, and it's such a great platform because of that, that even though you enter a marriage, you know something. Now, okay, my husband and I have to deal with work on this and this part. The way we struggle with finances, we can't save. We don't know how to save. Okay, that's not, I'm just making an example. And we need to learn how to do that, because we already went through that. Not being shocked in the marriage and then blaming each other all the way, because you weren't given that platform. But it really just, it prepares you for what's about to happen, but it doesn't 100% prepare you, because you can only be prepared once you are in it.
And I think I like that thing of, I think sometimes love can make you become so blindsided. You think that because you're so in love, you think that, hey, it's gonna work. Come fire, come hell or high water, everything's gonna be perfect. And I think one of the things I would like to advocate for premarital counseling is because I think it creates such a good foundation. It creates a good foundation where once you've spoken about the finances, now you can be realistic. And I think we had a video on finances prior to this where you come together on the table and you're like, I earn 5 rand, I earn 10 rand, how are we going to make things work? And I think that it's even better because premarital counseling is more practical in a sense that, okay, we know that we're going to live in, I don't know, the west of Johannesburg. This is our home. So this is how much, whether you're renting, this is how much rent is, whether you bought a house, this is how much bond is. Then you're able to come together. So premarital counseling kind of, it makes you put, everything into perspective. Also bring in the godly principles, as in what we should be good stewards of what we have.
Exactly. That's a good one.
You can't just be extremely wasteful. And the Bible itself, I mean, then you get to other levels where it says, oh no man, nothing but love. So your goal in your marriage, which is in my marriage, is that we should owe no man nothing but love. Debt is not a thing and cannot be a thing in our home. And I understand that not everybody starts off in the same thing, but as a child of God, you should strive to live what the word says. So premarital counseling brings the foundation, puts everyone on the same page, spiritually, financially, sexually, emotionally. And I think that if you skip premarital counseling, there could be things that can happen in your marriage that you could have avoided. it.
Yeah. It is. I mean, another example I'll make in our marriage is that I was going to a different church because I was in Victoria, and he was going to a different church in Johannesburg, and that's where we did our premarital counseling. And now we had to talk about which church are we going to. Those are the important things that now you have people. You don't always have to have people. I mean, I think you can resolve things between you two, but it was an important question. Where next? Which church are we in? How do we feel called to? Is it no, you have to go because the woman must just go to her husband's church? What has God called us to do? Which church is for us to go to? And we found ourselves in his church, which was great. And I also loved my previous church, as and I do miss it. But I'm in a space where I'm also learning how to engage in this new church, and it's something that we spoke about pre-marriage. So when it came to marriage, we already knew where we were going. We already knew that we had had a conversation with our counselors or mentors who spoke about this. Something like that. Even living situations. I think I love how you went into the practical things, because it's so important. Like living. I was in Victoria, Johannesburg. Very blessed that for my firm sort of moved into Saturn, but doesn't mean it's a forever thing. I'm like, okay, now we need to find out after 6 months if I move back to Pretoria, will we still work with location in terms of where we stay? And those are the things that you actually really talk about, and it's practical things. I think when you start mentioning the practical, I'm like,
I think even for me, because for me it was practical in the sense that premarital counseling dealt with things not only physically but like inside of me. One of the things that we spoke about was communication. And I realized that for me, I didn't think communication was a problem until I knew that when I got upset, I shut down. And because we went to premarital counseling and they dug up those things, my husband was able to say, okay, you know that you shut down in this situation, but this is not the case. So now you're able to deal with like practical ways on how to resolve conflict. I think one of our topics was how to resolve conflict. And for us, it was one of those things where I was that girl, I'm like, oh, you whining? I'm going to sleep. And I'll switch off my phone. And my husband is that person who's like, no, we need to sort things out now. That brings everybody on the same page, and it encourages you, because it's like, remember, we learned this. That means this is the goal. This is what we were supposed to attain in the long run. So this is what is the right thing. This is a good thing. Why don't we just go for a good thing instead of just taking the negatives that we grew up with and saying, this is how I did things, and that's that. So what we're getting into now, we're going to talk about how important is it to be prepared for marriage sexually, and sometimes we shy away from it, but I think it's an important thing because it really helps you, number one, to get out of that mental space. That thing of you understanding that this is where you're going now, and it's okay, because before God, like you say, you can be naked and unashamed, and also understanding that now you must adjust. You are not moving. Now you must oil. A machine that hasn't been oiled in a while has a struggle for it. So you need to put the oil. So we wanted to talk about, and also add that in and really be practical and open. How important is it to prepare sexually for marriage?
I think what my church did, they had we had this book. We had different topics, and they were very explicit in the intimacy element.
Really?
Really? Intensely.
I need that book.
I was like, did I pass that draft this? Because at that point I was like, you don't know much, and you're like, oh my gosh. So I think because church also prepared us in everything. They had a section for the guys saying, the guys, girls, and then the first time, what must you do? What you must try to get this. And I think people don't go into detail. We even had a guy speak about, a man speak about sex and intimacy in marriage and the importance of that. So I think I know a friend, well, she was a friend from my church when I was studying. There's another church. And she took her a year to believe that it's right to let's find her sex.
Wow.
She used to feel so bad because she was wired to, you can't, you know, 6 is bad because out of marriage, 6 is bad out of marriage, 6 is bad out of marriage. But her mind was 6 is bad.
Sure.
As now her marriage, her and her husband was struggling because of that, because she just couldn't, like, she just felt she was doing something wrong and immoral, and she felt that, you know, she was sinning basically. And it took them a whole year of actually working through that, to a point where she got to understand that actually this is a blessing. God made marriage, I mean sex for marriage, and by doing that, obviously God bearing in the intimacy. So it is a switch. So she's like, it was hard to turn off that switch. Grew up in a Christian home, I had to do this, and if you grow up with this in your head, and I mean same with us. I mean, I remember we were like first kiss, and then we were like, now we have to go to the date.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah, we were like, we kiss
24 hours. Yeah.
24 hours. We were like, oh my gosh, we just, you know, and it's a real like swift adjustment. I think God prepares you though. There's this thing of, we were just talking about this, like, for me towards the end, I just started having my feeling like I was getting to a point of being ready, because I had shut down that part.
And that's what's important, because not many of us, like, and I was telling you that even after we got married, like, it was still that thing of, hey chief, like, no, let's not, you know. I think I was telling you about an incident where we had gotten married on a Thursday. On a Saturday, everyone was chilling, and my husband, being the special man that he is, was kind of like, you know, we could actually go and kick it. And I was like, no. I was like, no. We're married before God. Like, we're good. Like, hey, whatever. And I was like, no. Because that mental thing, and I think that's one of the things that we've met through people that we even know, that this was one of the biggest things. You think it's going to be effortless, but we think it's so important for you to start to prepare yourself for sex, I guess, in marriage. And I think one of the other things is that in preparing for sex, I think you need to be open to your partner about maybe if you have any sexual encounters, sexual experiences, because sometimes sexual experiences and encounters might have not been a personal choice. So you bury that inside. And then when you get married, that becomes a hindrance because someone touched you in a way that you didn't like. Now when your husband touches you, you start resenting him. These things happen in marriages, and marriages fall apart because of stuff like this. If it's not finances being the biggest thing, the next biggest thing is sex.
I want to touch on what you said. I think it's so important about the past, your past sexual encounters, especially when it comes to, let's say, something like sexually molested or violated. It's so important to take that out before you get into your marriage. And him knowing, because I was listening to I don't know if you know Janet. She did that whole album. She said that her husband had to learn not to do certain things when they're having sex, because it would trigger her from her sexual, when she was sexually violated as a kid. So he had to learn not to put a hand somewhere or not do this, because it would really trigger her, and then they shut down, and then they can't move on. It's like, I mean, you can't have sex at night. So I mean, all the day, I don't know. Once you're married, you know, you can we have that. I wanted to, before we move on, I just wanted to say that also, if you a sexual history, don't think it's the end of the world. You know, not everyone has their own journeys. This is why, again, don't ever think that someone's journey is better than your journey because you didn't wait and stuff. You know, really don't think like that. Think about way forward now. Where are you going now? Because purity is the heart, actually. The purity is the heart, because someone might not have had sex, but they maybe they're struggling with pornography. You know, and other things. And you really don't know what's happening in people's lives. So don't think we're talking here about purity. Purity can come in the form of the oftenness of it, of maybe you have sexual history, and now you made a decision to stay celibate and pure until you meet your husband, and that's okay. But don't ever compare yourself. Just go on that journey with God. If there's something you're struggling with right now, go on that journey with God and find out why you're struggling with this right now, or maybe why or maybe mechanisms of how he can help you reach that point of maybe not maybe being pure and being celibate, but this is not for the pure girls, it's for everyone.
It's not for, let's say, virgins. No,
yes.
It's for everyone who desires, because that's how it starts. It just starts with a desire to say, you know what, this is what I want, I think I'm done with that, this is what I'm desiring.
Yes,
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So then in that case, I think then leading to the next question, what would your advice be for someone who is preparing to get married?
One of the main things I would say, we spoke about pre-marriage. That's the first thing. My advice is attend that course, that class. It may be 6. If your church does it for 3 months, do 3 months. There's a reason why your church has done it that way. Don't think you've made it in the Lord, and now because you've made it, now you can ignore that. There's no making it. We're always growing. So really, that's my first advice. I think for that sets a lot for you guys, and also it also sets when you speak about certain conversations, because for instance, I'll say for sex, it tells you, okay, now maybe 2 weeks away from marriage or 3 weeks, now you guys can talk about, you know, frequency of sex, what you think you might want to do, what you think, but it gives you a timeline of 3 weeks, not 3 months before, where
because you'll burn.
You'll burn. You'll burn. But so pre-marriage is so important. I think also communication with your partner is the most important thing in marriage and not in marriage. Also, one thing I would advise for people that are preparing for marriage, one thing, once you're married, just remember that God is your first love. Don't ever try to get satisfaction or try to get validation or get affirmation and be made whole from a person, because a person is a sinner like you. They cannot make you perfect. They're not perfect. We're all imperfect. And if you're gonna live in that bubble where maybe your fiance, now your husband, does something wrong, your world crumbles because you've made him your God now, and he's not your God. He's your husband.
True.
And so from just really knowing that God is your first love while single, while I'm engaged, and when you're married, because that's something that I've learned, that God is my first love, because you know, he's my ultimate validator, he's my ultimate love, and I should never put that pressure on my husband, because it's unfair. It's unfair. It's really an unfair pressure to put on a person. So I think really going back to that drawing board of, yes, you're planning your wedding, but remembering that who has my heart? God has my heart, because once you can love God so heartedly, it's easy to love someone, you know, have grace for another person, and just give up that love that God is giving you, and you're feeling that love.
Okay, so basically that's what Wives Talk is, and I hope that you guys really enjoyed this one. Basically the preparation for marriage and the importance, you know, the important things that I think in hindsight, not that our parents or our family did a terrible job, I think they did great, but now that we passed that, we can take what we learned and the parts that they kind of probably missed out on and shared with you guys. So this is what Wife Talks is going to be about. Like I said, it's going to be all about, you know, maybe even like the preparation for marriage and being in marriage. Sometimes we're going to be talking about, you know, what if about marrying someone who started with nothing but they have something. Those are the kind of wives that we're going to be having on this series and on these videos. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to follow Ayanda at Ayanda_Vana on Instagram. No Facebook, no Twitter,
and also my blog.
So she's got a new blog that by the time this launches, it will be live. So I'm gonna put the link below, because we would obviously have the link. So the link will be probably on screen and also in the description box below. And please check it out. Please constantly support. She's doing something absolutely amazing. I think you're gonna like her take on what a blog should be. Blogs are still in fashion. Blogs are making a comeback. And yeah, if you don't follow me, I'm Buli_Makhubo. You guys already know the deal. while I'm even out here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to tell your friends, to tell their friends to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!